Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening. Something that has been coming up lately for me in discussions, conversations with people is the isolation of seated meditation practice from the broader context of Zen or any other spiritual tradition for that matter. And it came up again for me this evening just as we were doing Kinhin, walking Zen. Our culture seems to have grokked the fact that seated meditation is beneficial. A lot of doctors and scientists and psychologists and all kinds of people are recommending meditation for people. And they're doing all kinds of research on experienced meditators and looking at how meditation impacts the brain, how it impacts our lives. But one thing I'd like to just suggest is that there is a lot of emphasis being placed on this single act of seated meditation. People are missing, particularly in the case of experienced practitioners and particularly monastics, the fact that that seated meditation is engaged in within a context, within a model of a whole bunch of other practices that are supported by seated meditation and support the impact of that seated meditation. And so one of the things I want to caution about is to understand that all of these practices that we engage in, whether it's chanting or whether it's walking or whether it's bowing, prostrations, or sitting, these are all Zen practice. Zazen, the word, when you break down the characters of the word, means sitting Zen. Za is sit. That's why Zafu is a sitting cushion and a Zabutan is a sitting mat. It means sit. When we're walking, we're doing walking Zen. And when we're chanting, we're doing chanting Zen. And all of these things are engaged in with the same mind, the same attitude, the same energy. So we can have this habit when we sit down, we say, okay, now I'm doing my meditation and this is good. The bell rings and it's time to do Kinhin, walking Zen. And the brain goes off we go thinking about this and that on our little break between our periods of Zen practice. And when we do this, we step out of practice. We miss this opportunity, which is not a break, it's not a release from our meditation, from Zen. It's a transformation. Walking meditation, in my opinion, is one of the most important transitions or transformations in practice, because it is the transition of equanimity, in sitting, balance in sitting, into balance in motion. And when we're doing kinhin, walking Zen, we can't be doing a bunch of other things. We can't be making lists, and we can't be distracted, because we have to be completely immersed, enmeshed, connected with the practice of walking. If we're not, we're stepping on the heels of the person in front of us, bumping into them. We're falling out of step, and our gap, our space in our attentiveness impacts everybody behind us. Our absence impacts our whole world. This is a teaching. In Zen monasteries of old, it was quite common to understand that this form of practice, each form of practice, was of value. Whether you were seated in the zendo doing sitting Zen, or whether you were in the sutra hall chanting, maybe reciting the name of the Buddha, or doing hundreds or thousands of prostrations, whether you were doing long walking meditation, whether you were working in the garden, or whether you were cooking food in the kitchen, it's understood that this is Zen practice. Not to elevate meditation to this place of special and have all the others be these sort of like lesser interruptions or breaks between periods of meditation. In fact, there are times when people will come to the Zen Center, to Zenwest, and ask for instruction on meditation, and I will say, I think gardening would be a good practice. You need to engage with the physical world in a wholesome way, in a whole way. Meditation could be dangerous. This kind of teaching, this kind of approach to practice was engaged in and is engaged in many places in the world still to this day, and historically lots of times. But I think these days in North America, I think I would have a problem if somebody came to the Zen Center and said, "Oh, I've come to learn Zen." And I said, "Okay, well, there's the dishes." Someone came to a retreat and said, "All right, I'm here for the Zen retreat." And I said, "Okay, there's the woodpile. Enjoy." Our practice is not about becoming good meditators. Our practice is not about becoming balanced and happy people while we sit on our cushions in a controlled environment with a bunch of people who are pointed in the same direction. Our practice is about awakening to the activity of the cosmos as it is manifesting right before us in every moment. Not just in these lovely moments in the midst of Finity Gardens and the Interfaith Chapel, but in the difficult moments, in the moments when we're driving our car and we've been cut off, in the moments in the grocery line when so-and-so wants to pass a check to pay for their groceries. How do you engage? How do you dissolve? How do you transform this inconvenient, uncomfortable, difficult circumstance into this world of awakening. How do you do it? It starts with these simple activities. When the bell rings and we bow, it isn't just bowing because that's the form and so that's what we have to do to get to the next thing, to get to the next thing so that we can get back onto the cushion. Bowing is the complete content of our lives. It's everything. There's nothing else to do. There's nowhere else to go. There's only this thing in front of us. This thing in front of us is the complete content of our life. Whether we're here in the Zendo or whether we're out in the world, this thing, this moment that's right in front of us is the complete content of our life. Why would you resist it? Why would you avoid it? Why would you be trying to think of something else? There's nothing else for you to do. Just this. There's nowhere else for you to go. Right here. So when we practice sitting, only sit. When thoughts arise, don't get angry about thoughts or frustrated that, oh, now I'm thinking about something else. This is just more stuff. Drop it. Just come back. Turn into, open your heart to what's taking place, what's arising in this moment right in front of you right now. When it's time to bow, don't cringe, don't avoid it, don't half bow. Bring your hands together, palm to palm. Allow them to meet like lovers. Bow wholeheartedly. Nothing else to do. Nowhere else to go. Just this. When we're walking, just walk. Allow yourself to dissolve into this wonderful community of people practicing together, walking together on the same foot at the same time. It's a beautiful practice. It's a beautiful dance. If we're able to let go of our fixation with ourselves, if we're able to stop chattering in our heads, thinking about the past or worrying about the future, just drop it. Open your heart to this activity that's unfolding before you, this activity that is the complete content of your life. We have these prescribed activities in the formal Zendo, sitting, walking, and chanting. The specific form of them, walking fast, walking slow, facing into the room, facing the wall, these are so unimportant. What's important is that we open our hearts to the activity that is arising before us in this moment. It is the complete content of our lives. There is nowhere else to go. There is nothing else for us to do. We practice this here. We practice this in this limited form so that we can know it intimately in our hearts, so that we can know this experience of meeting our lives, dynamically living. The reason that we do this is so that when we walk out of the door and into the rest of our lives, into the infinitely more complex dynamics of our everyday lives, we can find this place with our hearts. We can find this place in each and every moment. We can find our way home and allow ourselves to embrace the complete content of our lives, which unfolds spontaneously, dynamically, in each and every moment. This is why we practice Zen.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.